Hey girl, Marissa here. You are listening to the Codependummy podcast. As a young woman, you have been raised, reinforced, and rewarded for putting the needs of others above your own. Now, in your 20s, you're finding yourself exhausted, exasperated, and enveloped in shit relationships, especially the one you have with yourself. Codependency is a way of being where we put the feelings, wants, and needs of others above our own in an unconscious attempt to meet our own feelings, wants, and needs. Sorry to break it to you, sis, but that is not sustainable. This podcast is to help you undo all that so you can stop playing small and start taking up space, you dummy. Let's get to it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Codependummy podcast. I'm here with Nathan. Say hi, Nathan.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So, everyone, Nathan was on about 6 months ago for the Codependummy Dilemma segment.
Mm-hmm.
And since that time, so much has happened. So, Nathan, I wanted to have you back.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that was only 6 months ago. It doesn't even feel like that long.
Yeah, June.
Yeah.
I think we're almost to the day.
Almost,
yeah. If not, yes. So, all right. Well, I have a timeline for me and for you and for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Everyone, Nathan reached out to, I think, just thank me for the podcast. Like, hey, I resonate. This is great. And I immediately invited you to come on for the Codependummy Dilemma segment, which is listener-friendly, listener-focused, where I talk with listeners about an area in their life where they're being a dummy and coach them on ways to be more like a codependent. And you totally volunteered, which is great because I hear from a lot of people and I say, hey, you want to come on? And then I don't hear from them again. So thank you for that. And yes, we met in June. And in that episode, Nathan, you talked about how in a former relationship, you became, we talked about your codependency, how it's shown up. And in one way, in that relationship, you sought validation, especially through this routine call that most couples have. But yeah, you receive support, encouragement, talked about your day. And I remember you said you craved some language like that. Like I craved it. And so on the Codependummy Dilemma segment, I proposed you can have a nightly call with yourself and provide the validation, encouragement, support. So we came up with this idea on the fly where you'd record a voice memo to yourself and see how it went for 30 days.
Yeah. And
I do remember too, we had a little rehearsal in that recording. I was like, well, what would you say to yourself? And so many people, I heard from so many people who said Nathan was so good at validating himself. They were like, that was just what I needed to hear. Yeah, they're like, you're doing great. I love you. And you deserve, and just all these kind words. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You're natural. And yes, so we checked in after 30 days with the mini-sode. I think at 60 days, I had you email. Short replies, 90 days, you did your own recording, which I tagged to a episode that week. I created the 30-day self-validation freebie because people reached out and I was like, we can type up what we put together.
Yeah.
And yeah, it definitely resonated so much. But, despite it resonating, like most things that are good for us, they take commitment, effort, and time to make a true impact.
That's true.
Which you have demonstrated. And now we're at 180 days.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a timeline, everyone. Anything to add to the timeline, Nathan?
No, it's been great. It honestly doesn't feel like it's been 180 days. It's gone by so fast, but I've enjoyed it and I feel like I've improved a lot. So thank you for coming up with that idea on the fly.
You're so welcome. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So first question, Nathan. What do you want to say to validate yourself for practicing the self-validation challenge for the past 6 months?
I want to say I'm so proud of myself. To commit to something for even 30 days, let alone 180 days is tough. And I've improved so much. I'm so much happier now, and I don't feel like I need the validation from other people or from the people I love. Like, it's great to have it, but I don't crave it. I'm not dependent on it. I can seek validation and happiness for myself and what I choose to do every day. And I can just set up goals for myself and try to achieve them. And even if I don't, I can still like pat myself on the back and be like, it's okay. You try again tomorrow, and yeah, like be my own motivator. So yeah, it's been great. I'm so proud of myself. And I love myself so much for it. Before this, and even before this year, I wasn't really good at self-love and all that stuff. But I'm starting to get better at it and accepting myself and who I am and loving myself for it. So I definitely want to say that I love you, Nathan, and I'm so proud of you.
Yes.
It's a huge accomplishment, and I'm so much better for it. I really am. So yeah.
So you're so proud of yourself. You love yourself, accept yourself, and so much better for committing to this and doing it one evening-ish at a time.
Yeah, and it's like I'm my own hype man. It's great. So yeah.
What?
My own hype man.
Oh, hype man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm curious if you, speaking of hype man, can attempt to be specific about how has practicing self-validation improved your relationship with yourself?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
How has practicing, Nathan? You have to tell yourself it's okay. How has practicing self-validation improved your relationship with yourself specifically?
I feel like I'm more accepting of like how I look, for example, or because I've always kind of struggled with body weight and stuff like that growing up, and hearing a lot of negative things from family, from friends, or just receiving looks and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm more accepting of that, and I'm trying to live a healthier lifestyle. And sometimes, if I don't work out one evening, I don't beat myself up for it. Or if one day, I'm not feeling the greatest and I'm just like, what, I kind of want to go out to eat instead of meal prepping, stuff like that. Like, I'm not too hard on myself for that.
Right.
So that's been good. And even building up confidence in myself, in my job and in everything that I do. Like, this self-validation call has helped that a lot. I feel like I'm more confident in what I do and the decisions that I make. And how I portray myself to people, instead of worrying like, oh, what are they thinking? Or no, like, I said this, how does that affect them? And then I I used to play out like whole conversations in my head before I've even had the conversation. And I used to think all like so much about what other people thought of me and trying to control that. But just validating myself and being more accepting and loving of myself has kind of strayed me away from that, which is good because I find myself to be so much more happier. I'm not taking on so much stress, unneeded stress, and yeah, it's been wonderful.
Wonderful. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So hearing different ways, right? How you look and at work, and then the compassion if you don't meal prep or work out, and right, big shift for us codependents. Mm-hmm. You are not so preoccupied about what others think.
Yeah, it's great. And it's not like I don't care about what anyone thinks. It's just that I'm not too concerned about it, that it affects my happiness or like what I want to do and what I want to say.
Right.
So so it's been great. I've built up so much more confidence in myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. How do you sense the self-validation challenge has helped you improve your relationships with others?
I feel more the same. Like I have more confidence in how I portray myself and what I'm saying to other people. Mm-hmm. And I'm not too dependent on whether they validate what I say or what I think or how I'm feeling or what I've done. Like it's great if I hear it from them, but it's not like I'm looking for that or searching for it or fishing for a compliment or something like that, because I know that I can give it to myself and I am giving it to myself. Mm-hmm. I am validating myself. I am loving myself. So I'm not fishing for or wanting other people to say it. I'm not craving it or needing it. Because I know that I am who I am and I love myself for that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's made me such a happy and positive person. And a lot of my friends have said that this year, like I've changed so much. Wow. And I seem happier. I reconnected with one of my friends who I haven't seen in a couple of years. And they say, you seem so much more happier, so much more confident. And you have like a real sense of direction in what you want to do in your whole life. And just hearing that from someone who I was super close with a couple of years ago, just to see, or just to hear that they've even noticed a difference, meant a lot. And like it just validates even more that doing this was good for me. Right. But even if they didn't say it, I'm still proud of myself and I still love myself for it.
Right. So not needing the validation, appreciating and welcoming, but not fishing. Like I did the 30-day self-validation challenge. Yeah. I did 90 days. You're like, oh, like I appreciate coming on, Marissa. And also it's not necessary to keep doing it or feel good about doing it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How did you used to fish for compliments?
I don't. I guess I would sometimes in a conversation just like hint at the things that I'm doing, in hopes of other people being like, "Oh yeah, that's great that you're doing that." And like, yeah, you look amazing, and like there's so much of a difference. I would like kind of fish for it that way, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously, and at the end of the conversation, I would like replay it in my head and be like, "Oh, did they compliment me or not? And what does that mean? Am I not doing enough that they're not happy with me or seeing a difference or a positive impact on me?" And then that would play on my head. They're playing my mind a lot. So
yeah. I wasn't conscious of it, but what you're saying definitely resonates. And I sense I've experienced that shift thanks to the self-validation challenge, but also like thanks to the podcast and my
absolutely
healing from codependency. Yeah. Okay. Okay, slightly more specific. These questions are all similar now, I'm seeing, but we'll try and go for more specific. right? This self-validation practice you've been doing a couple minutes an evening. Yeah.
Yes, sometimes it's a little bit longer. And like there have been a couple of days, or not a couple, a few days, where it's been like maybe 30 seconds to a minute. But yeah, that's about the average.
Okay. What's the longer? Like a 15-minute, 20-minute?
I think my longest one was about 13 or 14 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
How come you giggle?
I was just thinking about that day. Like a lot had happened. So yeah, it was just, yeah.
Great. You
And
needed
then
14 minutes.
yeah, and then at the end of it, I realized like, well, it's been a long call. Or yeah, but it was great.
Yeah. Okay, so we got 30 seconds minimum to 14 minutes max. Like, a few minutes a day on average. Nathan, how do you sense taking these moments, right? These few minutes, like doing this daily, how has that helped you specifically with becoming less codependent?
I feel like I'm able to make decisions that are best for me as well. And yeah, and just like kind of repeating myself a little bit, but being more confident and accepting who I am. For example, there have been a couple times where my girlfriend asked me to go out and like spend some time with her and her friends. And I remember one specific time where I had a really busy long week, a bunch of meetings, and a bunch of deadlines that or for projects that had to get done. And she wanted to hang out Friday evening with a bunch of her friends. And I also knew that Saturday and Sunday I was going to be spending with her family. So, and I was so drained. I was feeling it by like Wednesday evening. I was really feeling it. So Friday morning, I had messaged her and I was, hey, I don't think I'm going to have the energy to go out and spend time with your friends. I'm really sorry. It has nothing to do with them or you. It's just I need some personal time for myself to recharge and just take it easy. And she was totally okay with that. She completely understood, which was great because I had a little bit of a fear that she would take it personally or she would get upset about it, but she was completely understanding. It was great. And the old me would have been like, no, Nathan, just push through. Like, it's fine. You can't disappoint her in that way. If you say no or you take time for yourself, that's being selfish or being too selfish, and you got to make her happy. So with this whole self-validation call that I've been doing, I feel like I'm able to like set boundaries for myself and do things that are beneficial for me, even if it might make someone else unhappy, but it like usually never does. These are healthy boundaries that I'm setting, and it's been great.
Yes, right. Yeah. And even like thinking about that week as an amazing example, right? I wonder what the call with yourself was like on Monday evening, Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, Thursday evening. That Friday, you woke up and like very consciously you reached out to her because those 3-4 evenings before you're like, oh man, with this meeting and you did good here, you're almost through. You performed well and okay, we got to follow up on this, but validating yourself, checking in, you just were that much more able to see Friday as a decision.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Like every day, like not Monday, I don't think it was, but like as the week went on, I was kind of talking to myself and like building up the confidence to make a firm decision on Friday. Because if I was feeling fine on Friday, then I probably would have gone. But I knew myself, and like having this self-validation call every evening was helping me build up the confidence to say like, hey, unfortunately, I can't hang out with you tonight. And I need to take time for myself. So yeah, it's helped me a lot, and it's been great.
Right. And then you got to say like, good job, you did it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I felt so great after I talked to her about it, because a part of me was scared that she would be disappointed, and she wasn't. She was completely understanding, and I was like, yes, I'm so proud of myself.
Right.
And I'm so happy that she completely understood. It was a good, healthy boundary to set. It made sense for me to do it. And yeah, it felt great. It felt like a weight off my shoulders. It was like, yes, I did this.
Yeah.
It felt good.
Awesome. Okay. Anything surprising that you've learned about yourself from these nightly self-validation calls?
Sometimes, like some nights, it's surprising how much I can talk about myself. I'm usually not someone who likes to talk about themselves too much, but these calls have proven otherwise, which is kind of funny, but also really great. I'm able to learn more about myself, and realize how many amazing qualities I do have. And when, like before, and people would used to give me a compliment, I used to brush it off as if it was nothing. But now I'm like, oh yeah, I do have these qualities. I do recognize it even in myself. Like before I didn't, but now I do, and that's been great. And yeah, it's definitely helped with self-love, acceptance, confidence, all of that. And
Right.
and yeah, that has to be the most surprising. Like the 14-minute call, I didn't think I would ever be able to talk about myself for 14 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's been great.
So it's surprising how much a day can impact us, or what does stand out, or what does affect us. And if we just go to bed, or we seek someone else to validate things through their perspective, yeah, we miss what really had meaning for us. And so now here you are on a 14-minute call, like, wow,
Yeah,
that was a day. That okay. I didn't predict that I'd be talking this long, but apparently this all needed to be discussed with myself.
Yeah, and it's like not to put anyone down or anything, but like it's so much more meaningful when it comes for me. At least I feel that way. Like I can validate, like, yes, like that meant a lot, and for me to say it out loud, like it just proves it. So yeah, I loved it so much.
Yeah. Okay. And Nathan, I am curious, what do you sense contributed to you being able to start the 30-day self-validation challenge? And let's start with that. Like, what do you sense contributed to you really being able to start? Because we get ideas, we read articles, we listen to podcasts, we have a great therapy session and our assigned homework, and we don't do shit. So like, what? Yeah, just reflecting. What do you sense contributed to you really being able to start?
Funny enough, this is going to be a codependummy answer, but the first motivation was, I can't let Marissa down. She made this challenge for me. I gotta do it. So, yeah, like, what is she gonna think? And like, what if she wants to follow up one day and I haven't done it at all? So that was definitely the first motivator. I know it's not the best. It's not the best answer, but it's honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's one of the main motivations. But also, I wanted to start loving myself. I wanted to validate myself and not feel sad or the way I was before. I wanted to change. I wanted to improve, which was also one of the reasons why I said yes to coming on your podcast. Not only to be on a podcast, because that's pretty cool, but also to help myself and others. So
right.
So yeah, like I definitely wanted to do what I could to better myself and live a more positive, healthy, happier life.
Right. So to help yourself, help other listeners, and not let me down.
Yeah.
Right. And we laugh. And I think I have talked about it on our healing journeys. We are working towards interdependence. So a healthy reliance on ourselves and a healthy reliance on others.
Mm-hmm.
And potentially on the way to that reality, we have to shift our codependent tendencies from more negative relationships towards more positive ones.
Yeah.
Right? Like I know I've talked about being codependent with therapists. It's better than I don't even know who, like ex-boyfriends or
Yeah.
crappy boyfriends. Let me go resolve this pattern and try and please this person. Right. And then on the way, hopefully them not becoming codependent on me because they're professionals, but like starting to, just really like direct that energy in a more positive way.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're, it's not a perfectly straight road, but we're leaning on each other as we get to interdependence.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So what do you sense contributed, right? We checked in after 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
You had the green light to stop. How come you kept going for 60, 90 and beyond?
I enjoyed doing it. It became part of my daily, nightly routine.
Right.
And there were some days where I was looking forward to it.
Wow.
I was like a little bit excited. And there were some days where I was like, oh yeah, I probably should do this. But I'm so glad that I did it. Like, it was something that I would look forward to most times. And it was a practice that I enjoyed doing. And I felt like it definitely positively impacted my life, my attitude, my emotions and everything. So
Right.
it was a great practice. So I just wanted to continue doing it. It's similar to like when I used to go to the gym, and that feeling after working out, you just feel so good. It was kind of like the same thing. So yeah, I just wanted to keep doing it, and here we are 180 days later.
Right. So you caught the momentum built.
Yeah.
All these ways you were reinforced, right? It felt good, so you're excited about it and sensing more confidence, more contentment, better decision making.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna stop doing that?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's interesting because I wanted to please you. In the beginning. I was doing it because I wanted to please you and make sure I didn't let you down.
Right.
And I wanted to do it for myself, and then it slowly became like, no, I just wanted to do it for me. Whether Marissa checks in on me or not, like I want to do it for myself.
Yeah.
And for the people, or like just for me, because I knew it was gonna positively impact the people around me as well. And I was able to talk to people about it too and encourage them to do it. So I hope they have it if they want.
Right. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of other people, with January 1st around the corner, which is the perfect time, everyone, to try out the self-validation challenge for 30 days. Well, what can we say to them, Nathan?
I would say do it. Please do it. I've been saying it on the 30-day mark, the 60-day mark, the 90-day mark. Do it. It's totally worth it. It's definitely hard to find the motivation in the beginning if you're someone who struggles with starting something new and sticking to it. But it's absolutely worth it. like you just gets it impacts every part of your life. And you get to validate yourself. You get to compliment yourself, say all these great things about yourself, which is great just to hear it and to say it. So who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want to hear compliments about themselves? And to be able to say all these great, amazing things, and to recognize all the things that you've done throughout the day or the few days or the weekend, whatever it is. And to be like, yeah, that was great that you did that, or it's okay that you didn't complete that. You'll have another chance. And just to like lift yourself up. It's great. It's great for that. So yeah, it's a new year. It'll be a new year, January 1st, a fresh new start, and you're able to do whatever you want. So I would say to definitely to make this part of your daily or nightly routine.
Right. Do it.
Yes.
Everyone. Do it. And what about, Nathan, what would you say to the listener who has thought about coming on for the Codependummy Dilemma segment? How has that decision created a ripple effect in your life?
It's been so cool. I get to tell people that I've been on a podcast. And a lot of my friends and family have listened to it, and they've given me such great feedback and say, and a lot of them said that that's so great for you to just go on a podcast and be like completely honest and open about a time in your life. And admittedly, that was a little bit scary when it came out and I listened to myself. I was definitely cringing just listening to my own voice, but also just like thinking about like, wow, now it's out there for anyone and everyone to listen to, like how I was doing at that point in my life. But I know that it helped people. Even if it helped just one person, I knew that I did it for great reasons. And it helped me too. But a lot of people told me that it helped them, and they've started listening to the podcast as well. My girlfriend actually just started listening to it, and she's about 6 or 7 episodes in, and she loves it. She also claims that she's a little bit of a people pleaser and codependent in that way.
Right.
So this has helped her a lot in setting boundaries and being more confident. And yeah, like it is a little bit scary to be on the podcast, but it's helped me so much, and it's given me a lot more confidence too, to speak what's on my mind or what I've gone through, and to just more accept of who I am. It's helped a lot, and it's made me more comfortable to come on more podcasts and do this kind of thing. So yeah.
Right. So everyone who's been thinking about it, it's free codependency coaching, right?
Yeah.
They just come on and I sit here and I'll come up with my genius coping skill or action plan, and then we see how it works, and other listeners can learn. I learn. Nathan learns. It's great.
Yeah, it's so great. And I promise Marissa's not scary at all. She's so nice, so polite. It's so wonderful.
Nice. Yes. Yeah, no, it's been interesting. Like I told you, I hear from people, I invite them on, I don't hear from them again. So it's scary, and also look what can happen. Everyone just listening to Nathan, hearing him these past 6 months, my hope is with the segment to help everyone who comes on to stop playing small and start taking up space.
Yes.
And, it works.
It does.
Yeah. All right. 2 more questions. Beyond listening to this podcast and similar podcasts, Nathan, beyond coming on this podcast, starting the self-validation challenge, what other things have you done recently or even in the past couple years that you sense has helped with your healing from codependency?
The first thing that comes to mind is journaling. That is a huge thing. That I kind of used to do that every now and then before I came on the podcast, or even listen to it. If I was having a rough day, I would. I was encouraged to journal from a few friends, and I tried it out, and it did help sometimes. Actually, it helped every time, but I just never forced myself to do it. I never made myself get into a routine. I didn't have the motivation to. So that definitely helped. And that's another way to validate yourself as well, instead of just having a call, you can journal. And that's a good practice to get into. Another one would be like, this is I would rely on other people I would talk to them and figure things out. But I wouldn't look for validation. It was more so I was just like venting and getting everything out. And talking it through. As well as therapy. I'm a huge advocate for therapy, so that is 100%. Everyone should do it, whether you're feeling good or feeling bad, whatever. It's good to always check in. Like everyone or most people get an annual physical to check on their physical health. So wouldn't it be a good idea to check on your mental health as well?
Right.
I consider that an investment in yourself.
No bias. Me being a therapist.
Yeah.
No bias.
I'm a huge advocate for therapy. It's great. I still check in once a month, regardless if I'm doing well or not. Just to talk things out and see how I'm doing and what kind of practices I could start or stop doing. So yeah, I think those are the two main ones. Yeah,
therapy and seeking support from caring others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And reflecting, so we'll be celebrating a year on January 27th. Any favorite episodes, guests, or topics you'd like me to revisit?
I really liked the few episodes that you did. It was the Codependummy Anthem. I think that's what you called it.
Yes.
You like went through the lyrics of a song. I like that.
Okay.
That was very interesting. I've never seen or heard that being done before, and the way you did it, I really liked it. And I like a lot of your solo casts too, where you just talk about your life and your experiences through codependency. I feel like after listening to you for so long and listening to the guests and their stories, it's kind of nice to like hear more about you, and because I feel like through the podcast I've gotten to know you a little bit more. So just to hear your experiences, like, whoa, Marissa also went through that too. She's just like us.
Just like y'all.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed those.
Okay. So I named it different things. So DJ Codependummy, solo casts. Any other topics, guests, or things I haven't covered that you'd like to hear in year 2?
No, nothing comes to mind or pops out. All the guests that you've had have been great. And listening to their take on codependency in different areas, like even the financial one, that was kind of cool. Yeah. But yeah, like nothing comes to mind right now, but if anything does, I'll definitely let you know.
Yeah. And listeners, that's your invitation too. This is the little podcast that could, and we're growing and open to feedback, suggestions, and input. So thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.
Well, you've heard me talk about the Confiding Codependummy, 30 days of journaling prompts for a less codependent and more conscious you. So because you're speaking of journaling, it's $30, everybody, right now. But as a thank you, I'm going to send you a free copy.
Thank you so much.
I have heard from listeners who have started, right, listening to the podcast, starting the self-validation challenge, going to therapy. We're trying. And the feedback I've gotten so far is it is helping with its intent. So it's helping the people who are using it be less codependent and more conscious. Because I have questions. It's 30 days, so it's a lot of writing, but about your past, about your present, and what you want the future of your codependency, the healing, to look like. So it's really getting more in touch with the things that contributed and getting really honest about what it looks like currently, and really trying to envision a life where you are self-confident, where you do make decisions by yourself, where you aren't, craving that nightly call with a partner. And so, yeah, I'll send that as a thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will stay in touch.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm glad you have your own green light and motivation. And yeah, I thank you for coming on and putting this into practice and for sharing with all of us.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, this all started because I just this podcast was recommended to me by my therapist, and I started listening to it, and it helped a lot. The first few episodes I listened to, I just wanted to say thank you and show some support. And next thing I knew, I was on the podcast, which is really cool. And now here we are. So thank you for all of this, for everything.
Welcome. Okay, bye everybody.
See ya.
Hey girl, it's Marissa again. I'm not like a regular podcaster, I'm a cool podcaster, right? Thank you for listening and staying till the end. You can find me on Instagram at Therapy with Marissa. Email me, marissa@codependummy.com. Check out codependummy.com for more information on the show. And baby girl, a subscribe, rating, and review would be much appreciated. Till next time, I want you to remember, if you are feeling unseen, I see you. If you are feeling unheard, I hear you. And if you think that you don't matter, know that you matter to me. I want you to go out there so you can stop playing small and start taking up space, you dummy. And now, the disclaimer. Girl, this is not therapy, and I am not your therapist. This podcast is designed to provide accurate and authoritative information in regards to the subject matter covered. It is given with the understanding that neither the host, publisher, or guests are rendering any legal, clinical, or other professional service. If you want or need a professional, please find one.